Welcome, have a nice day. Today is Friday, 14th of July 2023, one of the revolutionary days in Paris and now a national holiday. The 14th of July, Bastille Day, is celebrated with a mixture of solemn military parades and easy going dancing and fireworks. Sorry. In 1942, also Quiet India resolution passed by Congress. The Congress Working Committee meeting at Wardha, which was held on July 14, 1942, passed the Quiet India resolution demanding complete independence from the British government. The draft proposed massive civil disobedience if the British did not accede to the demands. Starting the newspaper alliance with the newspaper, The Hindu states that Prime Minister in France, Modi, describes India as a model of diversity and announces agreement for the use of UPI in France. French President Emmanuel Macron and Prime Minister Modi posed for a working dinner on July 13, 2023. As the Elysee Palace is in Paris, Narendra Modi is on a two-day visit and will attend a Bastille Day parade with the French President Emmanuel Macron on Friday. PM Modi addresses the Indian diaspora in France on July 13 and described India as a model of diversity and announced an agreement for the use of UPI in France, opening a huge new market for the Indian innovation in cashless instant payment. His two-day visit to France was interpreted as a step towards a closer military cooperation between the two countries, as India was gearing up to acquire 26 new Rafale M fighter jets that will fit into India's maritime military plans. The Hindu newspaper also states that Biden is closing out his Europe trip by showcasing new NATO member of Finland. The United States President's trip this week meticulously choreographed endeavor meant to showcase international opposition to Russian leader Vladimir Putin's war in Ukraine played out nearly 5 years to the date. Since then, President Donald Trump infamously stood alongside Mr. Putin in Helsinki and cast doubt on his own intelligence efforts. United States President Joe Biden and Finland's President Sauli Niinisto during a United States Nordic leaders meeting in Helsinki, Finland on July 13, 2023. The Hindu newspaper also stated that Ukraine was not a priority of G20 presidency is India. Russia-China has rejected language on Ukraine that G7 nation insists on, including Amitabh Kant, says it is a present being discussed bilateral and not in full G20 group development. African Union membership were more important for India. India G20 Sherpa Amitabh Kant. With a little movement on a consensus between G7 countries and Russia and China over a joint statement, India's G20 Sherpa Amitabh Kant said that the Ukraine war was not on India's list of priorities for outcomes from its presidency. Instead, India is focused on finalizing the language of the leaders' declaration pertaining to economic and development issues while leaving the contentious issues for later, he said. Going towards the Indian Express newspaper states that Delhi floods, live updates overflowing Yamuna in undates parts of Delhi. Residents may face drinking water shortage. Delhi floods, live updates July 13. The Delhi Disaster Management Authority has directed that all schools, colleges and government offices for non-essential services in the city be closed till July 16 as the water of raging Yamuna inundated several areas of the national capital. Transport came to a halt after a Yamuna flood water breached into the ring road at the Red Fort Kashmir gate on Thursday. Many commuters were left stranded on the roads and at the closed ISBT Kashmiri gate. Indian Express also states that in a resolution on Manipur violence, European Union Parliament slams BJP's nationalist rhetoric. India says internal matter. The European Union Parliament has further called for the controversial Armed Forces Special Power Act (APSAPA) to be withdrawn from the region, as well as the restoration of the internet services. File photo of the European Parliament. Indian Express also states that in J&K, three Bihar workers shot at in a Shopian. The injured trio, who come from Bihar and were engaged as a construction workers, have been rushed to a hospital, and a joint team of forces cordoned off the area and to try and nab the attackers. In the first attack, of workers are from outside Jammu and Kashmir in the valley. This year, suspected militant shot at and injured three laborers in the South Kashmir Shopian on Thursday evening. The incident happened in the Gagran area of Shopian district. Going towards the Hindustan Times newspaper states that while Chandrayaan-3 lies in the historical context of lunar exploration, the launch vehicle marked the third LVM-3M4 vehicle with the Chandrayaan-3 at the launch pad at Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota, Indian Space Research Organization. When the 640-ton launch vehicle Mark 3 LVM-3 rocket takes off from the Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota on Friday, it carries not only the Chandrayaan-3 but also the weight of history, as it seeks to place India in an elite club of nations that have successfully landed on the moon. Here are some charts that explain how this mission is placed in the historical context. Hindustan Times also states that monsoon session data protection bill among 21 key legislation on agenda. The Narendra Modi government plans to push 21 new pieces of legislation, including the data protection bill and bill to be replace a controversial ordinance on Delhi services in the monsoon session of Parliament that starts from July 20, according to the Lok Sabha Secretariat circular. UPI in France to post-study work visa for Indian students, what Prime Minister Modi said in Paris. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addresses the Indian community event at La Cine Musicale in France. In a major boost of the market expansion of India's unified payments interface, UPI Prime Minister Modi on Thursday announced that New Delhi and Paris have come to an agreement to use the flagship's instant payment system in France. Prime Minister Modi said the service will begin from the Eiffel Tower, while India tourists can make payments in Indian rupees using a mobile application. India's H1 trade with China declines amid slowdown. India's trade with China declined in the first half of the 2023 after more than 2 years of record growth, part of the broader slump in China's trade performance that has underlined a sharp slowdown in the world's second-largest economy. Imports from China slid 0.9% to the $56.53 billion in H1 2023, while India's exports to its neighbor fell by 0.6% to $9.49 billion. India's trade with China has declined in the first half of the 2023 after more than 2 years of record growth. Here is an image used for the representation only. Going towards the economy of the country, Ramco Industries, Ramco Cement sell their holding in LYNK Logistics in Swiggy. With this deal, Swiggy will foray into the country's massive retail market. Swiggy on July 12 said it has entered into a definitive agreement to acquire LYNK Logistics Limited. City of London to help India in mobilizing private capital for infrastructure project. Entry for foreign law firms into the India mooted. Christopher M. Hayward, a policy chairman, City of London. At a time when free trade agreement negotiations are ongoing between India and the United Kingdom, a visiting representative of London's financial and professional services segment has battled for the expeditious conclusion to talks and early implementation of the deal this year. Going towards the world news, including Biden says he is serious about the pushing a prisoner exchange for WSJ reporter held in Russia. United States Secretary Services says it ends White House cocaine probe and no suspect identified. United Kingdom visa fees health surcharge to rise to meet higher costs, says Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. India-China trade shows her first signs of slowdown in years. Italy rail strike strands commuters and tourists in sweltering weather at the height of a tourism season. FDA approves Perrigo's contraceptive as a first over-the-counter pill in the United States. Going towards the science and technology, Vikram Sarabhai Space Center to carry out system checkouts ahead of Chandrayaan 3rd launch. Artist Sudarshan Patnaik creates a sand art in Puri on July 13, 2023 to wish the good luck to ISRO scientists ahead of Chandrayaan 3rd launch. Deep space orbit to provide non-traditional resting place. Gary Paulos holds a DNA memorial kit given to families by Celestics Inc. as a keepsake for those who use their space burial service in Mesa, Arizona, United States, towards June 26, 2023. Stunning Webb telescope image shows the closest star-forming region. The first anniversary image released Wednesday, July 12, 2023 by Space Telescope Scientific Institute Office of Public Outreach shows NASA's James Webb Space Telescope displaying a star birth like it has never been seen before, a full of detailed impressionistic texture. The subject is the Ophiuchi cloud complex, the closest star-forming region to Earth. At last, there's a famous quotation said by Bhagat Singh, whose birth anniversary is 27 September 1907, up to 23 March 1931, was a charismatic Indian revolutionary who participated in the mistaken murder of the junior British police officer in what was to be a retaliation for the death of an Indian nationalist. He later took part in a largely symbolic bombing of the Central Legislative Assembly in Delhi and a hunger strike in jail, which on the back of sympathetic coverage in Indian-owned newspaper turned him into a household name in a Punjab region, and after his execution at the age of 23, into a martyr and folk hero in the northern India. Borrowing ideas from the Bolshevism and Ankarism, he electrified a growing militancy in India in the 1930s and promoted urgent introspection within the Indian National Congress, non-violent but eventually successful campaign for India's independence. Bhagat Singh says a famous quotation. He says that, "But man's duty is to try and endure. Success depends upon chance and environment." Okay, thank you.